Chuck Fresh with Computer Care Clinic, and this is our tip of the day. We have a lot of customers come into our stores in both Suntree and Merritt Island. Number one most awarded computer repair stores probably in the state of Florida. Maybe on the whole east coast of the United States. But anyway, people trust us for advice. Why? Because we tell them the truth. It's hard to find these days in anything. It's hard to find the truth, even in the media. But regardless, before I go crazy on that, I'm going to tell you about what the cable companies and the DSL companies are telling people when they call them up and they say, all of a sudden my computer is very, very slow. Their scripted solution for this is to attempt, and I'm guessing this is what it is. I tried to get them to come on the air with me, but they refuse to be recorded, and we can't record them without their knowledge and permission in the state of Florida because that's a felony, so we don't do that. But their scripted response from what my customers are telling me, and I'm hearing this third hand, is that when a customer tells them their computer is slow, they immediately try to upsell them to a higher internet speed. Now, is that going to make a difference? Probably not in most cases. And 99% of the time, the reason your computer is slow is because it's probably an older computer. It probably doesn't have the latest processor or a lot of memory. Or you've got 20 tabs open in your browser and you're trying to do 1,000 things at once and you don't realize that all these tabs are doing something else. So I'm going to explain what's going on, why your computer may be slow, a couple of tips and tricks on how you can speed things up or shut things down that you don't need to run at the same time, and that increasing your bandwidth and paying your cable or DSL or whoever you get your internet from is probably not going to make your computer any faster. Because they do this. They call their internet service provider. They increase their speed to, 1,000 bubba bits. And it's not making any difference. And then they come to us after they realize, wow, that didn't solve my problem. There's probably something going on with my computer. So how do you find out what your speed is? Well, most internet service providers have their own speed test, or you can run speedtest.net. There's 1,000 of them out there. I'm going to run a speed test right now while I'm recording this. And we're paying for 100 megabit service through Bright House, which is now Spectrum, which is now Charter, which is, I don't even know who we're dealing with anymore. I'm not sure who to make the check out to be honest with you. Now, I'm wireless. We're paying for 100 megabit, and I am over a 2.4 gigahertz, not a 5G wireless router. So this download speed is definitely affected by the wireless. I'm about, I'd say, 25 feet away, direct line of sight, and I'm getting about 54 down, which is pretty darn good, considering it's a wireless. But let me explain to you really quick how this whole thing works. Now, I'm getting 100 megabit service from my internet service provider, who happens to be Charter, Bright House, whoever they are today, whoever they'll be tomorrow. So my wireless card in my laptop at 2.4 gigahertz is only capable of supporting so much bandwidth. I mean, the most I'm probably ever going to get out of this thing is maybe, well, theoretically, it'll handle a whole lot more, but maybe 500 megabits per second. Now, do you need that kind of speed? Absolutely not. Unless, and there's a caveat, unless you are streaming videos on a home media server. And when I'm talking about that, I'm saying you have one computer at home that has HD or maybe even 4K videos stored on it, and you like to watch those 4K movies on a different device. I'm talking maybe a different device within your home. And then you're going to need a really powerful router. But does that affect your internet speed? No, because I'm going to tell you the truth. At home, I have 100 megabit service, and we have 4 devices at once. It's rare, but we can have 4 devices streaming HD streams from Netflix or Amazon Prime or Vudu or one of those video services. And we are not experiencing any hiccups whatsoever with our 100 megabit service at home, streaming up to 4 continual HD streams. Now, we haven't tried that with 4K, and if we did try it with 4K with 4 different streams, we might run into a little bit of trouble in terms of things getting choppy and not streaming correctly. But with 4 HD devices streaming on the same 100 megabits, we're having no problem at all. Most people aren't going to do that. Most people The people we're talking to are mostly older people, and all they do is they check their email and maybe their bank accounts and do a little shopping online. For that, you can use the most basic service that your internet service provider offers. I think the slowest speed, they have a budget plan that is, I'm not sure if it's 6 megabits per second, but for email, for just average web surfing, if you're not watching movies and you're not streaming HD or 4K video on your computer from Netflix or Amazon Prime, you don't need those high speeds, and those high speeds are not going to make your computer work any faster. Do you understand what I'm saying here? Now, they do have this $45 plan for 60 megabits per second, probably more than you will ever need, more than the average person will ever need, even if you're streaming a couple of HD video streams over Netflix or Vudu or one of those services or whatever you guys use. It's all the same stuff. I don't want to get into something that's a little too complicated. We'll do that in a different video, but I'll tell you exactly how many megabits per second you need for each individual stream for HD and 4K video. I think that'll be interesting, something I wanted to look up myself. So do you need the higher? Do you need to bump up your internet service? Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, in a lot of cases, even if your computer is slow, you can actually downgrade your service. In most cases, for most of these people who are just doing email, web surfing, and maybe playing some games on the internet, not the 3D shoot 'em up games, but I'm talking like the solitaire and stuff, you probably can use the lowest speed that your internet service provider offers, and you will notice no difference in what you're seeing on your computer. Now, as far as your computer goes, your computer being slow, that's going to be a whole different thing. That is a function of how many applications you're running simultaneously, how fast your processor is and its capability to do multiple things at once, and how much short-term memory or RAM you have in your computer. And again, 4 gigs, if you've seen some of our other videos, is more than enough for the average user. I don't think you need it 8. I've had people who have upgraded to 16, 32 gigs of RAM, saw no difference in performance whatsoever. That is, unless you're doing advanced gaming or photo editing or video editing or one of those other things, but most people don't do that. You can downgrade that speed safely. You will not. Go ahead and try it for a month or two. You can always bump it back up unless you're under contract or something. But now, what you want to look at is your CPU usage, and that's your central process, your processor, your Intel Pentium or your AMD, whatever you've got there. And you can open your task manager and see exactly what everything is using. Like right now on my performance, my CPU, I'm recording a video stream for this video using HD, full HD stream. And I'm also recording audio along with it. And I've got this browser open along with a whole bunch of other things, including my antivirus, my anti-malware, and a whole bunch of other stuff on my computer. I'm synchronizing Dropbox. All that stuff is going on right now. It's a simple i5 processor. It's probably second generation, running at about 1.7 gigahertz. So it's not super fast at all. This computer I'm recording on right now is 4 years old. And it's running my web pages fine. If you're within that 4, maybe 5-year realm, you're probably okay. If your computer's slow, there's something else going on. It's probably not your hardware limitations. Now, I've also got 8 gigs of RAM in here, but I do advanced video editing on this computer. I'm using about 4 of it right now. And you can look under your processes. It tells you exactly what's using what. You can sort them by clicking on the column. It'll tell you which one's using what. And Malwarebytes is using a truckload of service. I mean, a whole bunch of memory. The new version 3 is just really, really heavy. But, you know, it's a trade-off because you want to be protected. You don't want anything bad to happen in your computer because if you do get a virus or malware, it's really going to slow things down, and then you're really going to be upset. Now, let's go back to, I'm looking at some of these web pages here. Now, some of them are huge. The MSN page is notably fat, and when I call it fat, it means it has a whole bunch of advertising going on. So you've got this big thing up here. It's kind of like a, I don't know if it's Java, Flash, HTML5, something with animation, with slides. It changes. You got things flipping around, and it's loading all this stuff here, and then there's another advertisement down here, and then it's going to load some videos, and all this stuff is going loading up on some of these pages. And that all takes processor cycles and memory. And Yahoo is got a fatty too, man. Yahoo's got a whole bunch of stuff on their website too. So MSN, Yahoo, probably the biggest offenders in terms of, now it's A lot of people like all this stuff, and there's nothing wrong with having it, but it's increasing your internet speed going to make this load faster? No, it's probably not. These are well optimized to run under a 6 megabit connection. Really all you need with these kind of things here. The cleanest page probably is Google. Google is very, very simple, and there's no advertising on the main Google page. Well, there's once in a while a little kind of thing that they plug themselves at. But real simple, real clean, doesn't use a whole bunch of cycles. And again, you can experiment with it. Open your task manager and close tabs and see how that affects your memory and processor. I'm going to start closing. I'll close Yahoo right now, 224 megabits. Let's go back and see if that made a difference. Megabytes, I'm sorry. Now I'm going to close the MSN page, and then I'll close this Google search, and I'll close Bright House. Bright House, just leave Google open. Look at my usage here. It went down a little bit, and I still have this Java thing that was probably part of the speed test, and that will close eventually too. I'm surprised that's still there. But these are processes running on your computer that have absolutely nothing to do with how fast your internet service provider pipes are. See, I've got very little difference on here. I'm actually surprised that the Chrome didn't do that much at all. Actually, close Chrome altogether and see what that does. And we're still using it pretty high. What is killing my CPU? We've got this SQL server. I'm not really sure what that's running. But you've got all these processes running in the background. And this is what affects the speed of your computer, the speed and performance of your computer. It's not, what I'm saying is increasing your internet speed in most cases will not give you a faster performing computer. And that's the point of this video without going on a tangent. I'll do a couple more videos that will actually look at some of the web pages and the CPU usage and some recommendations for something that'll be a little bit faster that will actually, some things you can do to tune up your computer to actually make it a little bit faster and a little more responsive so you don't have to wait quite as long for things that you're waiting for right now. But do you need to upgrade to that $100 a month plan? No, it's probably not going to make a single shred of difference in most cases. Please like and subscribe to our channel. That helps us out. And the more likes and subscribes we get, the more videos we can send to you and produce to you and help to promote the truth, which again is very hard to find. My name is Chuck Fresh with Computer Care Clinic. Thanks for watching.